Welcome viewers. Today we are going to discuss an important topic of your course, Advanced Inventory Planning and Control, which is one of the course of your program, Postgraduate Certificate in Inventory Planning and Warehousing System. So the first question which comes in your mind, that in today's session what we are going to learn. There are very important topic, that is the materials management. We will try to discuss what is the significance of materials management, what are the different policies of materials management, and then what are the different or the various inventory strategies. One of the strategies is inventory cycle and counting. Before proceeding, first important thing which comes to your mind, that why we are discussing so much about the materials management and why materials management is important. As you are aware that any product, any component is made of certain materials, and you will appreciate that 5 to 60% of the cost of the product is of material cost. That is why the management of material is very important, because in certain cases we require the materials on our hand so that we can plan the production. You just imagine yourself what will happen if a OEM manufacturer of a car gets the order for 1000 car, but the manufacturer or the supplier of tires is not able to supply the tires on time. Do you think that the OEM, original equipment manufacturer, will be able to supply the car to the dealer for the final delivery to the customer? It is not possible. That is why we need a proper materials management. And there are two different topics. One is called the strategic materials management, where we have to plan a strategy for efficient materials management. Second thing is sustainable materials management, where we will plan how our materials management will be sustainable in case of any disruption, in case of any accident, in case of any problem. So first we will see that what is the significance of the materials management. What materials management say, that it helps or it provide the materials to reach at right place in right quantity at right time. That means whenever we are providing the material, it should be reach to the appropriate place. Suppose I say the equipment or the tools. Tools should be available to the labor or the worker. Or if I say the measuring equipment or the quality check equipments. So the quality inspector need that particular type of a equipment whenever he goes for inspection. So materials management is the sequential or an essential process for any manufacturing company or even for the outlet. So what the materials management does? Materials management procure the material or the raw material. It provide an efficient, effective management of inventory right from manufacturer to the shelf of for a manufacturing company or even for the shelf of a retail outlet. So, what are the operations in the materials management? It includes the regular monitoring of the purchased material, then proper inventory management, and the distribution of material. Distribution of materials means from supplier to manufacturer as a raw material, then as a finished product it is from manufacturer to the dealer. So, in all cases the materials management is important. Now, let us concentrate about the process involved in the materials management. The first important is the planning, that how you will plan, then organizing, monitoring, implementing and controlling the flow of materials to and fro. So these are the 5 various processes which are involved in the materials management. Now, what are the major challenges in case of materials management? When we talk about the materials management, there are few challenges. Just like the first important challenge is to maintain the consistent flow of the materials for the smooth production. Another important thing is that simply arrange everything at right place. These are the 2 major challenges. Now, in every organization, we have a materials manager. He faces or he or she faces just like incorrect bills of materials, inaccurate inventory, unreported scrap, shipping and receiving error, and the production reporting errors. These are the few issues which every materials manager faces. What is happening? That exact quantity of production is not available to the materials manager. Similarly, what is the amount of scrap is also not estimated. There are chances of errors in the bills. There are chances in the errors in the schedule. Along with this, there is an important issue of uncertainty. There is an uncertainty in the delivery of material. There is an uncertainty in the production of the product. All these are the major issues before the materials manager. Now, what we should do? So that we must have a proper and efficient materials management. For that, we have to formulate certain policies. If you just see that slide, that to be successful in achieving the objective of the materials management by facing the challenges and the issues, we need to lay down certain strong policies. Just like first one is suppliers quality and reliability policy, order process perfection policies, inventory analysis policy, cost saving policy and the timing policy. We will take one by one. So first we will see that what is the supplier quality and reliability policy. As you know that to provide a consistent quality or the regular flow, we need that our supplier should be efficient and reliable, because there are some type of a adverse situation where there is a obstruction in the continuity of the supplies, as the company will not be able to meet the demands of the customer. Sometimes it becomes impossible for a company to directly deliver the required quantity of products to the customer on time if they fail to obtain the quality suppliers. So, the important point which comes here is the supplier quality. It is a very crucial role for suppliers to fill the company's order on time as agreed upon the lead time, so that company should be able to meet the customer demand and without compromising the quality. Now, these are the six quality parameters of a supplier. First, he or she or the supplier should maintain the continuity in the supply. There should be reliability in the supply. Then third one is the regularity of the supplier. That supplier should not be irregular. Fourth one is very important, that whatsoever the supplier is supplying, they should meet a benchmark or the quality standards. And the fifth is the most important, is the correct quantity. The supplier should not cheat the buyer that instead of 1000 he is supplying only 800 quantities or the numbers. Then the last one is the least quality rejection and the returns. There should be least chances for the rejection. That means whatever the quality, as we today we are taking the items conforming to Six Sigma. That means 3 part per million defect is only acceptable. Now let us come to the another policy. That is the order process perfection policy. Here you are aware that customer demand is fluctuating. So our supplier should be well equipped to meet the variability in the demands of the customer. The supplier must have sufficient inventory or policies to handle the turnover demand. Along with that, a firm or the supplier firm must regularly keep a check on the stock. Few important other points which are also comes under the order process perfection policies. If you just see that the order process perfection policy, it basically understand the current amount of the materials when they are stocked in all times. It is also required to have the correct replenishment to meet the demand and placing the materials orders. Along with that, an accurate estimate of turnover rate, so that our order processing should be effective. Third policy is your inventory analysis policy. It is an essential step of any materials manager to regularly analyze the inventory at his workshop or in organization, such as inventory turnover ratio and other financial performance. Here we got a term, inventory turnover ratio. So what does it mean when we say that inventory turnover ratio is 5? That means company can sell and replace its stock of goods 5 times in a year. In this policy, it helps to understand how to fill customer orders while keeping the inventory cost low. And this policy also provides tips and formulas and the key matrices for analyzing the company's inventory. It further exploits an effective inventory system so that an account of total purchase as well sale of every item can be maintained. It also ensures the cost of purchasing item uh, should be less than its sale. Another policy is the cost saving policy. That means whatever quality work we are carrying out at the organization, it should be done at the minimal cost. Minimal cost that should be spent for the purchase of the high quality. That means quality should never be compromised. When we will say that the materials manager is successful when he finds the lowest possible price consistent with the quality and the value requirement for the purchase materials. What they need to do? They must do without increasing other cost. They should control the cost of the inventory. They should maintain the high turnover of inventory. They should also seek low procurement and storage cost, and whatever action they are taking, it should be consistent with the quality and the delivery requirement. Another policy is another very important policy, that is the timing policy. Because time is very important. That is why it is said that lot of materials management success depends on the timing or the perfect timing. Because in the beginning we said that the objective of materials management is to provide the materials at right time in right quantity at right place. Whether it is a prompt, we need a prompt delivery, we need the dependable delivery, and even then we want the success. So timing should not be hinder, or timing should not be hamper. Timing is also very important when forecasting is we want perfect forecasting. Another important policy is the inventory management policy. When we say that what should be the inventory management policy, first and the important point is that what we accept or expect from the inventory management. There are various policies, but as per your unit or as per the course, we are discussing the few inventory management policies which are prescribed or which are given in your text. The inventory policy depends on the quality and the reliability of the supplier. Second important thing, the expectation of customer with respect to the timings. Third is your delivery schedule, and the fourth one is the financial implications and the operating procedures. When we talk about the quality and the reliability of supplier, that means the supplier should maintain the quality in terms of the product quality, in terms of the time quality, in terms of all aspect of the quality which he needs to supply the material. Another point is the reliability. Reliability means if there is a change in the customer demand, if there is a change in the technical specification, then our supplier should be able to meet the change in the demand. Now, what is happening as the technology is getting advanced? The expectation of customer is changing with respect to timings. So, our inventory management policies should map with the change in the expectation of the customer's demand. Delivery schedule. If the customer is asking or demanding certain schedule, our whole production line should match with the delivery schedule. That each delivery schedule, suppose we have to deliver a certain item after 15 days. So, the final product should be ready within 15 days so that finished product should reach by the end of 15th day. Then another important is that financial implication and the operating procedures. As you know that inventory management involves some financial implications, just like if you hold the large amount of quantity, it will increase your storage cost. If you hold the small amount of inventory, then you require the high ordering cost. So, once the policy is framed, organization has to set some goals and suitable strategy that needs to be structured. Now, we have certain inventory management strategies. They are 7 in numbers. We will discuss in detail also why we need the inventory management strategies, because as we have discussed that for strategic materials management, one of the important point or the consideration is the inventory management policies. If inventory is properly management, your materials management will be efficient, materials management will be effective. Because what is the objective of materials management is to provide the or the satisfy the final customer. Now, how the customer will satisfy? If he gets his item or the desired item within a desired time framework and in desired quality, then our customer will be satisfied. So, for that purpose, inventory management, there we must formulate certain policies for managing the inventory management or certain strategies. So, there are 7 in numbers. We will discuss one by one so that you should understand. And even in my discussion, first we will discuss what is the inventory management strategies, what are the advantages of that particular strategy, what are the limitations of that strategies, that we will also study. So, they are 7 in numbers and we will discuss one by one. Just like for example, the first one is your bulk ship strategy, where we will frame a strategy for the bulk shipment. Second one is your ABC inventory management strategy, where the inventory is classified in a 3 category ABC. Third one is your back ordering strategy, where as the name implies, we have to formulate a back ordering strategies. Fourth one is your just in time strategy. As you know that just in time is a very important inventory management strategies which came into existence after 1980. Fifth one is your consignment strategy. It depends upon the vendor managed inventory. Sixth one is drop shipping and cross docking strategies, and the last one is your cycle counting strategies. So, my dear friends, in today's session we have understood what is the materials management, what is strategic materials management. What are the different policies for materials management? And the most important thing is that when we will say that our materials management is effective, when we are able to provide the right quantity of material at right place at right time, then we will say that our materials management is perfect. In the next session, we will discuss about the various inventory management strategies. Thank you.
We wear clothes on a daily basis. But have we ever wondered, where do our clothes come from? Who makes our clothing? And who are the people and the process responsible for the whole manufacturing of our clothing? If you want to know more about this, Indira Gandhi National Open University from the School of Continuing Education has launched a program which is Certificate in Apparel Merchandising. There are many benefits after doing this program. You can become a designer in various fields. It can be fashion designer, apparel designer, costume designer, or even a textile designer. One can also work as a fashion consultant. Research and development is another field which one can take up after doing this certificate course. Going into academics is another perk after doing this program. Getting into fashion houses or fashion studios as an intern is also a very good option post doing the certificate in apparel merchandising. The basic eligibility of the program is 10+2. The duration of the program is 6 months to 2 years. The program is also available for both the admission cycles, which is July and January. The exams are conducted twice a year, in June and December. So what are you waiting for? Join this program and get an enriching knowledge in the field of apparel merchandising. And to do so, you can log on to the official website of the university, www.ignou.ac.in.
A warm welcome to IGNOU. If you are creative, if you can write well, and if you can visualize, mass communication is the correct career option for you. I am going to talk about postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication, which is also the first year of MA program in journalism and mass communication. So any learner who has done a postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication is eligible to take admission straight away into the second year of our master's program in journalism and mass communication. Duration to complete this program is minimum 1 year, and because we have this inherent flexibility in distance education system, you can take up to 3 years to complete this program. The minimum eligibility criteria for taking admission in this program is bachelor's in any discipline. To give you a glimpse of what are the various components of this program, we begin with telling you what mass communication is, what are the various areas, various branches of mass communication. Then we go on to tell you about the various reporting techniques and beats of reporting, followed by media ethics, the principles, the codes of conduct that you must follow, and we also focus on the writing skills and editing skills for print media. Now this program comprises of 8 courses of 4 credits each. 25% of the entire program is practical based. So we have 6 theory courses and 2 practical courses. This program is so designed so that it will be able to make you more employable in the market. So it helps you build a career in print media.
Welcome viewers. In the second part of Advanced Inventory Planning and Control, which is a course in your program, Postgraduate Certificate in Inventory Planning and Warehousing System. Earlier we have discussed about the strategic materials management, under which we have discussed what is the significance of materials management, what are the various policies of materials management. We have also discussed or we have listed the inventory management strategies. There are 7 in numbers. In this session, we will discuss about each inventory management strategies. Now let us see what are these strategies. The first one is bulk ship strategies. Second one is ABC inventory management strategies. Third is back ordering strategies. Then fourth one is just in time or JIT strategy. Then consignment strategy, drop shipping and cross docking strategy, and then finally cycle counting strategies. So let us first see what is bulk shipment strategies. As you know, it is always cheaper to purchase and ship the goods in bulk quantity because you receive certain discount when you purchase something in a bulk. It is one of the predominant strategies which helps in curtailing the cost with respect to the high customer demand. Downside to the bulk shipping is that organization needs to lay out extra money on warehousing the inventory, which will most likely to be offset by the amount of money saved from purchasing products in huge volumes and selling them off fast. So what are the advantages of bulk ship strategies? It provides a highest potential for the profitability. When we go for a bulk shipment, we need fewer shipments. That means we are further lowering the shipping cost. It will work well for the staple products with a predictable demand and for long shelf life. It should not be formulated for a short shelf life or the perishable items. Now, what are the limitations of bulk shipment strategies? The first most, since it involves the capital, large amount of capital, so there is a risk of highest capital risk potential. Further, since we are purchasing we are making a bulk shipment which further increases the holding cost because we need to keep the bulk shipment in our storage. Third disadvantage or the limitation is it is very difficult. Suppose we purchased 10,000 items and there is a technical change or upgradation in that particular item. We can't take a new item unless until we consume 10,000 items. And you just imagine another situation if we purchase only 100 items, so it will be very easy to adjust. Second inventory management strategy is very popular inventory management strategy, which is a ABC inventory management. It is based on categorizing the items or the inventory into three categories. A being the most valuable and C being the least, while B is a moderate. First thing you will appreciate that not all the products in the inventory are of equal value and they are not in an equal number also. That is why there is a need to pay more attention where the products are more valuable. Category A, Category B and Category C. Category E, this contains the items of high value but smaller in number. They constitute 70% of the total values but they constitute 10% of total number. If we come to category B, it is items of moderate value that only 20% value and the moderate number that is 20%. While category C, items have very small value that is 10% but they are in large number 70%. So basically ABC inventory management policies or strategy operate each category separately, particularly when selective control, allocation of funds or human resources are required. It provides easiness in applying the policies to focus on the particular category for order processing and for inventory analysis. Now these are the few advantages of ABC inventory management strategies, that it helps in demand forecasting because we are analyzing the value and the number time to time. This strategies allows better time management and resource allocation. It further helps to determine a tiered customer service approach. That means service level is also categorized. It also enables the excellent inventory accuracy and it further provides strategic pricing. Now these are the few disadvantages or the limitations of ABC inventory management, that it could ignore the products that are just starting trend upward. It simply ignores. Sometimes it makes a conflict with the other inventory strategies. It requires time and human resources. You know that we need to calculate the value, determine the value and calculate the number. Now the third one is your back ordering strategy. As the name implies, back ordering, that means something is placed when you have already received the order. In earlier cases, we are formulating the strategies for in anticipation. But here, placing the order for the goods only after receiving the order. It further uses the company's decision to take the order and receive the payment for the out of stock products. What back ordering does, it allows your customer to place the order even if you do not have the sufficient stock on your on hand. When there is a sudden increase in the sales and the products are getting sold faster than they can be stocked, then back ordering strategy is the best strategy. Now, what we do in the back order strategy? If suppose there is a one out of stock item, then it is very easy to create a purchase order. You just imagine the same situation for 10 or even hundreds of different sales per day. How difficult it will be for back ordering. Now, these are the some advantages of back ordering strategies. First, since we are not waiting or the customer is not waiting for the product, he or she is simply making the order on the basis of brand value or the value of that particular company product. So, sales is increasing and your cash flow is increasing. For a small business, it's provide more flexibility. Since we are taking the back order when we do not have the stock, so it gives lower holding cost or storage cost, and even there is a less chances of overstock because we are not stocking the item. There are few disadvantages of back ordering because there is a higher risk of customer dissatisfaction, because customer has booked but you are not able to supply. So, there is a high risk of customer dissatisfaction. Longer fulfillment rate, because neither you nor your customer knows when the order will get fulfilled. Another very important strategy is a just-in-time strategy or JIT strategy. It is basically a management strategies that company receives goods as possible as when they are needed. When they need, the goods will come to them. There are two characteristics of the just-in-time strategy. First one is it does not keep any inventory if it is not required. I have taken one example of car. As you are aware, in car we use airbags. Now there are two ways to put airbags in the car. You take the airbag before starting the production of the car, and the airbag will remain in the shelf till the car goes to the assembly line. Another way is that the airbag will reach to the shelf when the car start moving in the assembly line. So the airbag need not to wait in the shelf. That is called the just-in-time strategies, because airbags are arriving as and when it is required. So, what is happening in just-in-time strategies? It banks on the purchasing the inventory such that it just arrived before the material is needed. It further lowers the volume of inventory that business keeps on hand. But it is a risky technique because the inventory is purchased only for few days or few hours. Now, what just in time does? It saves inventory holding cost by keeping stock level low and eliminate the situation where dead stock is piled up. There is a increased frozen capital and even inventory sits on the shelf for months and the years. Another important before starting the just in time, it requires the business to be highly agile and capable to handle much shortened production cycle of the product. Now there are some questions before you implement the just in time strategy. Are the suppliers reliable enough to get the products on time every time? Is the order fulfillment system efficient enough to get the orders to customers on time? And the third one is, does the inventory management system offers the flexibility needed to update and manage the stock level? Similarly, there are other question also, that does the company which is supplying has an understanding or the thorough understanding of customer demand, sales trend, inventory cycle, reorder cycle, or seasonal fluctuation. These are the few points for a manager who is handling the inventory management strategy. If the questions are answered satisfactorily and the positively, then believe me that the just in time will work quite well and efficient. This strategy has to map well with the policy that focus on the reliable and the quality suppliers and the cost curtailing effects. That means just in time, first take the answer from the question which we have asked, then second that it also take care of other policies. Now what are the advantages of just in time strategy? First and the foremost important, it lowers the holding cost because we are not taking the large amount of inventory. It further improves the cash flow. Why? Because we are getting the product with the lowest inventory level. Then there is a chances of less dead stock. Now what are the problems or the limitations with the JIT strategy? First problem is fulfilling the orders at right time. Another important thing, there is no room for errors. If there is error, just in time is not going to fulfill the objective of the inventory management. And third, which is most important, there is a chance of risk for stock out. After just-in-time strategies, we come to the consignment strategy. Here, if I read it, when a company places its goods in the inventory of retailers but retains the legal ownership until the products are sold. What does it mean? That a vendor or supplier is providing certain items to the retailer. Retailer will be the responsible and accountable for the management of that inventory. So, vendor manage his inventory at the site of retailer, not at the site of himself or the herself. Now, let us see what are the other important characteristics of the consignment strategies. It further involves that a wholesaler placing orders in the hand of retailer. That means wholesaler is providing all the items or the retailer, but the ownership lies with the wholesaler unless and until the product is sold. And another thing is that which is very important in case of consignment strategy, that demand uncertainty is the biggest problem in case of consignment strategy. If I explain in a simple way, it is a strategy that allows vendors or suppliers to own or manage the freight and the carriage of inventory, while the sellers are simply responsible for the stock that they sell and make any selling expenses. So what is happening here? In the consignment strategy, wholesaler is not managing the inventory at its own site, but what is happening? They are maintaining the inventory at the side of the retailer. Now it is the, again there are various types of monitoring the inventory or managing the inventory at the retailer end. First strategy or the first action is that activity that the wholesaler make a periodic review. That means after 15 days or 10 days or 7 days, and as per the requirement, he or the supplier or the vendor fulfill the inventory. Another one is that continuous replenishment. In that, the supplier or vendor supplies the item at a regular interval, whether the retailer needs or not. But there is a commitment between retailer and the vendor that either it should be periodic or it should be continuous. Another one is this, that is the pull based strategy, when your retailer raise the demand and then wholesaler fulfill. But here it is a consignment strategy that without waiting for retailer to react, the wholesaler will provide the items to the retailer. Now let us see the next slide. What are the pros or the advantages of the consignment strategies? It offers a wider range to the customer because the items or the product inventories is taken care by the wholesaler. It further decreases the lag time when restocking the product. And another important point, it takes back or the retailer new products. it is a basically transfer marketing to the retailer, and it is difficult to collect the information about the product, that what customer requires, what is the feedback from the customer. So in today's session we have, particularly in the second part of advanced inventory planning and warehouse inventory planning and control, we have studied about various inventory management strategies, just like bulk shipment strategies, back ordering strategies, ABC inventory management strategies, then just in time strategies, and consignment strategies. All these strategies are important. Few strategies which we have not covered. One of the important is drop shipping and the cross docking, where it has been innovated or provided by the famous retail company, that is Walmart, that instead of sitting at the warehouse, the items is directly provided to the retailer. So this is called the cross docking strategy, which helps in reducing the cost at the warehouse. Even the certain items are having the short shelf life, so there the cross docking helps a lot. I hope that my session on strategic materials management is fruitful to you, and you must have understood the inventory management strategies as well as strategic materials management policies. Thank you.